Hi friends! I know we're back at my place, not as exciting as Maddie's house, but we must go on and still do all the makeups. Today is another tutorial as I was inspired by the gift sent to me by Phytosurgence. I spoke about their Weathered Woods eye collection in a previous monthly favorites video, and in one of my stories I showed my Tanjiro jacket from Steady Hands and they were like, yes, Demon Slayer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Demon Slayer fans unite. And I wrote how I was behind and I wanted to order more products, and the team was so nice to offer a few products to be sent, and I was like, that's so kind of you. They had asked if I had anything in mind, and I just said, listen, I will leave it in your hands. Of course, being the owners of the brand, I'm sure you're the expert and can recommend what will best suit my skin tone. So they sent me 3 items, and I'm just again grateful for the opportunity, for the generous gift. And when I applied Inferno, I was like, Inferno will look sick with Melt 27, and Melt actually sent me a new 27. I had mentioned this, I think it was my April favorites video, where my old 27 had the shattered metallic shades, and I guess they must have seen that. And when I saw the new UPS alert, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so nice of them. We have a brand spanking new 27 palette, and although this didn't receive as much enthusiasm as Gemini did, I like this better than Gemini in terms of the color story. What exists in Gemini 1 as Gemini 2 recently released, Gemini 1 housing the mustard green shades, an amazing lineup of colors, super grunge with that mustardy greenish moss tone. But there is something about these burnt coral terracotta peach shades that I feel is just incredibly unique. It does not exist, I feel, in my current eyeshadow collection. Like, I cannot wait to get into this look, combining the products from Phytosurgence, creating an eye look with 27, because it just turned May. Okay, the summer season is upon us. It is on its tippy toes, and I thought maybe we could... my package is here. What was I saying? The UPS man came, excuse me. I thought we can cover the swatches from the Phytosurgence products and then start the demo, because I also wanted to compare other cream and liquid blush textures to the blush texture of Phytosurgence, getting into some details about the product formulation. I have a handwritten note. I'm keeping this. Oh, hi, if it's your first time here, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for watching my video. The Spectral Shine Radiance Balm. When I saw this product, of course, it was on my wish list to buy. I thought this unlike anything I have seen, just based on the description. They were so nice to send me Dew of Day. Dew of Dawn. Dew of Dawn is described to be a peachy shade. Let's see here. Yes, a neutral peachy beige for light medium to medium tan skin tones. And this was relaunched in December 2021, reformulated to be easier to use, especially with fingers. The purpose here, it says, is to add diffused glitter-free radiance across the face that is unlike any traditional highlighter on the market. Think finishing powder and highlighter hybrid in a cream to powder form. It takes away, mutes any kind of oiliness or dewiness, but leaves behind a soft focus radiance akin to soft box lighting. Wow. It's a dry to touch cream to powder formula. It doesn't feel like an actual cream, so when you see this online, you might think it to be emollient, but upon touching it, you see here it has a drier pickup, so it does take on that hybrid type of a texture. And here is the swatch. Even though it doesn't have that in-your-face shine, I think it's great to have a highlighter that, again, as it's described here, to be more soft focused, to be more diffuse, more of a radiance versus a shine or an actual highlight effect. And when I say highlighter effect, meaning what we're traditionally exposed to in social media, that high shine, just streak across the cheekbone, seen from outer space. This is not that. It does not feel like a natural cream, but it will not melt or become creamy with the warmth of your finger. It will remain stiff and dry, but creates a creamy look on the skin, picks up and applies in incredibly thin layers. They suggest to use their Sky Buff brush. I don't have that brush, but I do have my Koiro Makiko synthetic brush. It looks similar to the one here online. This is a round brush, whereas their Sky Buff is flat on both sides, so it has that nice pickup shape, but I thought we can still try it with the Makiko brush. I'll make sure to link this brush down below. And I am so sorry, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. Let's pick up some with the brush. I had been using this for the last few days, and I'm going in like this in a back and forth motion. And it is truly unlike any highlighter product that I have in my collection. Exactly how it's described. Diffused, soft focus, not shiny. It says here that the formula relies on fine pearl pigments. They don't reflect light off the skin, but they rather catch and hold light onto it, which again will deliver a soft, diffuse, and gentle veil of luminosity that translucently filters the skin. My goodness. So I thought this side we can use a brush to apply. And you can see, let me back it up. And I know it's tough to see on camera because the natural light is coming in strong from my window, but in person, it does exactly what it's designed, or as it is described here, to do. Soft focus, more of a veil of radiance versus, again, traditional in your face shiny highlight. And we'll also use a finger here, as they did say it was formulated to have better pickup with a finger, as some people just feel more comfortable applying this type of a product with fingers. So you can be successful either way, with the finger application or with a brush one. Brushes are nice as they diffuse the product and buff it nicely into the skin, but you know, you can go however you like. You can even place this on the actual cheeks. Because the formula is not a traditional highlighter, it's not going to accentuate texture, I think, like those powders usually do when you apply too much, especially on the low part of your cheeks. But you could place Spectral shine anywhere on your face and it will not look textured, it will just look smooth, but again will still have that radiance left behind. And now onto the Skin Spark Blush Balms. I'm so happy they just sent me the shades, because out of all the shades in their lineup, I love all of them. They all look gorgeous. Phytosurgence sent me Singe and Inferno, a moussey cream that resembles a soft chocolate truffle in texture. Yes, it does. Melts to the touch but dries down to a soft, natural, somewhat powder-like finish that does not remain sticky or greasy. Correct, I applied this yesterday. Exactly what it does. The skincare base provides soothing emollients to the skin while keeping moisture and hydration locked in, while also delivering high-impact pigment that can be sheared out beautifully on the skin. These blush balms can be applied onto bare skin or on top of other base makeup. The finish can be described as softly radiant, glowy, but definitely not oily, long-lasting given that there is not a lot of contact being made with the face throughout the day. Here is the texture of the product, exactly that, a moussey texture that's not overly emollient or tacky feeling like I think of when thinking about Tower 28. And Singe again is a bright neutral pink. And here we have Inferno. Oh my goodness, get ready for Inferno. A brick tone bronze. This shade right here, 27 all the freaking way. Now for the comparisons, again, here is the texture from the Phytosurgence. You see that there's a little shine on camera, but when you buff it into your skin, it buffs down again to that natural finish that was described. It doesn't look oily or shiny on the skin. It just looks like your skin, which is remarkable, especially when you first apply it, but when you start to tap or swirl and twirl with the brush, the texture just beautifully fuses with your skin. It becomes one with your skin. And again, the finish left behind is remarkable. So I thought, why don't we compare it to Tower 28's Golden Hour? You can just see from the pan how there's a lot more tack and a lot more shine. Because of that, the Tower 28 might leave behind a little bit more dew, so that is something to consider if you're deciding which blush to get. The Rare Beauty I have here, Enjoy. There are two finishes in the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch liquid. This has more of a liquid texture, as you see, but very similar in finish compared to the Phytosurgence, I find. Yes, if it's more glowy or matte, because again, there are two formulas or two finishes in the lineup, I think the more dewy finish is Joy wanted the dewies. Let me double check. Yes, this is one of the dewy formulas. So it, again, leaves behind that dew. But what I like Rare Beauty's liquid blush for is it's conservative with that finish. It's not overly tacky or shiny. And of course, I have to show you Melt Cream Blush Light. Sandy cheeks. Okay. Next to Inferno, or it, I think, will elevate Inferno a little bit. This also leaves behind a little bit of shine, a little bit of dew, not as a natural soft focus finish as the Phytosurgence, and is not as pigmented. The Phytosurgence blushes pack a punch, so a little goes a long way. Make sure you proceed with caution. And all these products from Phytosurgence are fragrance free. Thank goodness. The other one, of course, is LYS. The LYS finish is similar to the Phytosurgence one. I would say, though, that there's a little more fluidity in the Phytosurgence formula than LYS. LYS is a little bit tighter, very creamy, but super pigmented. I feel, though, it's easier to swirl and twirl with the Phytosurgence texture versus the LYS. LYS is more of a tap and buff around type of an application requirement, just from my experience, but I know I'm talking too much. I'm just so excited. Why don't we go in with Singe on one side and Inferno on the other? I'll apply Singe first with just my finger, and there you go. That is the first dab-a-da-dab. Applying with the finger, I think, is the easiest approach, but it's so even in the application. It's not spotty or uneven. It just kind of flows on the skin and finds its way there effortlessly. And this is an ideal color for me every day, especially now going into the summertime. I like the more muted pinks. I believe it's the color Hope from Rare Beauty. I had shown that in my spring summer skin makeup tutorial. I love those types of pinks, but to have something with a little more vibrancy, I think is very much summer appropriate, and it gives me that flushed effect that phenomenal on its own. But if I wanted to go in with eye makeup, I could. If I wanted to use the same brush I applied Spectral Shine with, I can buff down around the edges. You can even layer on Spectral Shine on top of the Skin Spark Blush Balms. You can do whatever you want. With Inferno, this shade right here knocked my socks off. Applying it right in the center. This like burnt bronzy look I cannot get enough of. Is one of my favorite tones in the blush category. Again, I do feel very summer appropriate as it mimics that sunburnt look that we do not want to rely on the sun for, okay? That's why we have the makeup to give us that finish, that vibe. But you see, this is a little more bronze in the color, a little more pink, okay? I absolutely adore both shades. I think they have a role in my makeup routine now going into summer. And again, the tones of these shades is just perfectly appropriate for that, again, sunburnt look, fresh from the beach, the park, wherever there's sun exposure, but not subjecting your skin to that damage, still having that effect, however, from these blush bombs. And I know it's tough to see the finish on camera. It's not tacky. The skin still feels soft. It feels like I applied a skincare product, like a moisturizer. Unlike the Laura Mercier, which is what I wanted from the color that I purchased. I have not returned it yet because I have not found myself at a Sephora yet. I know that sounds strange, but that's just how my weeks have been looking. I wanted that color from that product, but it just applied so uneven and strangely. Whereas this, it lays on perfectly evenly. You saw how it did with a finger application. I'm more than happy to now demonstrate application with a brush. Lightly tap, that's all you need, because the product picks up great with the brush. And again, as I was describing before, I feel this formula, the moussey creamy texture, is an ideal finish to swirl in, right, with a brush. It doesn't disturb the makeup underneath. Right now, I am wearing Goss's cream foundation, actually in shade number 6. I have shade 5 and 6. I thought 6 would be too light, but it actually works out. I applied the Say Natural Cream Bronzer around the perimeters of my face just to even out the tone. But look at that. Can you see the finish? I was so excited when I applied these, and again, so grateful just for the team's generosity and sending these items to me. And to clarify, I know that there are a lot of brands out there that take advantage of creators. They did not ask me to film this video. I just wanted to film this video as a thank you because I was excited to share the colors and also to do an entire look inspired by these shades. Going in with a little more spectral shine here on the cheekbones, and the way the spectral shine combines with the Skin Spark blush. Yes. Apply Linda's eye primer on the lids. You see what I'm saying in terms of how well these shades match to 27. Come on, I'm telling you. As much as I love Gemini 2, I still prefer this color story over Gemini 2. Roses are great, mauves are great, as you know. I went on a mauve mayhem video comparing all my mauve type palettes to Supreme Mauve's Artist Couture. But this right here, when the seasons change, my mood definitely shifts and I tend to reach for these types of colors more often. And where are the brushes? Oh my goodness me. Oh, which one should I do first? Nip Slip? Nip Slip? Nip Slip is this perfectly peachy, but burnt peachy type of a color, and I adore the fact that 27 has both the peaches but a little bit of neutral here. You see there's like this grayish tone taupe, but you also have a more neutral brown. I'm actually gonna do one more thing. Let's do one more thing on this side. I'm so happy with the ranges of shades in here. While I understand you only have 2 metallics and 8 mattes, the shades of the mattes are just extraordinary. So, you know, I forgive it. Nice swirling and twirling. Okay, one more thing. Nip Slip. We're doing good so far. Now with Downtown. Downtown on the peachy side. And I'll place that on the outer part of the lid and pounce it on here. And slowly start to bring it in on the lid, bringing a Nip Slip a little higher here, and then more downtown, and start to pull it out a little bit. This is the side. It's always giving me problems, okay? I just try to be careful with the angle of my blend because it could get a little wild. Nip Slip under the lash line, and these are the types of colors downtown on the outer corner that I like to get really hazy with, like just drop the shadow low because it's the best thing to do. Now you have your deeper colors here on the end of the palette. You can go either way. You can stay in this type of mid-tone area of shades. You could also apply Moxie that will bring a little more heat, as this is like a spicy type of a red shade. But I'm going to use Moonchild and place a little bit of that on the outer part of the lid here to add more depth so it can look a little more hazy. Tappity tap tap here, and I'm using a swirling and twirling technique to help the shadow buff evenly. And there we go. Think we're doing good. I'll bring it here on the lower outer fourth just so it can connect to what's happening up top. And a general blend here on the edges so that everything fuses together nicely. On this side, on the taupe side, let's apply Thick. Thick is such a unique shade. I can't really identify its undertone. It's hard to see here on camera. It's a brown, but it's like a plummy brown, but cool toned. You see what I mean? No matter how you combine these shades, I think what you create is just like that hazy, sunburnt, peachy just your neutral eye with a twist. And then thick here, I'm just doing thick on the entire lower lash line. We're just going for it right now. Whiskey Neat, which is more of like a more neutral than Moonchild. Moonchild has a little bit of red in there, but I'm taking Whiskey Neat on the outer part of the lid and tapping that color now to create a little more depth, and then using the tip of the brush to apply Whiskey on the outer part of the lower lash line. Naked Sleep on the edges here for this eye. You could use Naked Sleep with, you know, whichever side you want to add a little more blurring to. All right, you can apply a little more primer on the lid if you want, because these metallics, they're very soft. They don't have the same grip as the metallics found in Gemini 2. I feel the ones in Gemini 1 were reformulated. These take on just a softer texture of color that doesn't have a lot of grip, but they're soft on the lids. They don't accentuate texture, which I think is an advantage if you do have texture on the lids. So that's Crime Fighter, which is more of a golden copper color, because Vegas Past is a bronzier shade, which we'll use on the other side. So I'll do Vegas Past again here, 1 out of 2 metallics that exist in 27. And again, this is more of a golden bronze finish. The texture is the same, and I don't mind this formula actually. I do quite like it, but be careful, because you saw how they can shatter, crack. So depending on how you store them, if you take this along on a trip, you can't have it let it rock around in your bag, or else these possibly could break. And I'm using a brush here just to refine the edges of that application, going back and forth between the mattes to make sure that transition is seamless. Now these shades are, depending on your skin tone, will determine whether or not you dip outside for a highlighter shade. And why not? Let's use Spectral Shine as our inner corner highlight. Unless you want something shiny, then you would use maybe Melt's Genesis, or that's the name of the color, excuse me. They're digital highlight types of powders. I think those will have great highlight, but I'm just using a pencil brush here to pick up Dew of Dawn, applying that on the inner corners and pulling that, why not, on the, well, what I could do the inverse. So I'll apply Crime Fighter on the more taupey bronzy side here on the inner lower lash line, and then Vegas Past on the more burnt peachy copper side. I love 27. I love it so much. Most definitely Suku's 109 from pre-summer 2022. A little bit of Esam's dual lip liner in nude. I'm taking the dark brown side. Just adding a little bit of contrast here. A little bit of lip blend here. All right, apply some lashes and I'll be right back. And here is the finished look for our burnt peach summer Inferno Singe bronze look. Again, a huge thank you to Phytosurgence for sending these products, and again, they did not ask me to film this video, nor did Melt Cosmetics did. I was personally inspired by the products themselves, and given your response from my last video, my spring summer skin tutorial, and how you expressed your enthusiasm in watching these types of videos, not necessarily them being reviews of new products, then I felt encouraged to film more videos like those. And I thought, again, since we're going into the season and these shades are just beautiful together, why not film a tutorial using these? So whether you have these specific products or others that take on the similar shade scheme, that you will be inspired to create your own terracotta monochromatic look. I'll see you down in the comments, fam, and until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, makeup tutorial extravaganza, monthly favorites, or vlog. Take care, and I will see you again soon.